Hello everyone, my name is Abena Amoah. I'm the Deputy Managing Director of the Ghana Stock Exchange. Women have come far in our financial services industry, but there's still a long way to go. Why I think there's still underrepresentation of women in leadership in the financial services, I think goes way back in the foundation level as we are raising boys and girls and educating them to take up professions. When I joined my business school for my first degree, out of 100 students in the room, 20 of us were female and 100 were male. And these patterns need to be looked at and improved even at the secondary school level in how we communicate finance and numbers, etc., to women and make them feel that they are adequate enough to do financial analysis and take up leadership roles in these positions. And so the work for me goes back even earlier than at the professional level, how we are making everyone feel that they are part of the financial ecosystem and that every business, everything that we do has a financial angle to it. And whether you're building a road or you're running an NGO or you're running any other business, a manufacturing business, for instance, or you're even running a tabletop business, the financial literacy part of it is one that every single person, regardless of sex, needs to look at. So for me, the work has to start much earlier. I think that somehow we've boxed ourselves to think that leadership looks a certain way and leadership must have a certain sex. I think leadership is anyone who's ready to step up to the plate, and that we need to broaden the definitions of leadership to be more inclusive. More inclusive means that a soft-spoken person could be a great leader, but we seem to like the thrills of what we call the motivational leader, someone who looks a certain way, someone who speaks a certain way, someone with a certain gender. And we think that other people that are in the room who are quieter, who are women, their views and opinions do not quite step up do not quite encompass leadership. So even when we look at women that we choose as leaders, we often see a lot of women with what we call desirable male attributes, or that if there are certain males and they do not meet certain desirable attributes, we make fun of them and call them, in some of our local parlance, something that's not as desirable in a leader. So I think the ideas, the thinking that people can be groomed, can be educated to make an impact, can bring together teams, and must be given the chance, these people must be given the chance to be listened to, that their ideas are worth and valuable, is one of the key things we need to do. The other thing is that for women, it seems that a woman is only good enough if she's doing 5 times what the average man is doing. So that is only the type of woman that must come to the leadership table. We see a lot of the time that when it comes to leadership, we're looking for women that are par excellence. And yet for many of the men that you meet at the leadership table, it's okay for them to be the average man. And so I think this is one of those areas that we need to look at. Finally, I think that organizations must put in deliberate strategies to make sure that they are very intentional about their promotion, especially at the middle management levels, their promotion of people of the different sexes to hold leadership positions at the top level. There are many, many women who take on extra roles at home, in society, and then the work environment is equally challenging. And I think organizations need to make room to acknowledge that the workforce has additional responsibilities. Thankfully, we've seen COVID come and show everyone that we're all the same. When we all had to work from home, male or female, we began to see that running a family life, taking care of children, taking care of parents was an equal burden, or should be an equal burden, on male and female. It was okay for men for the first time to sit on a conference call and have their children yelling in the background, and no one batted an eyelid about that. And yet, if a woman needed time off to take their child to the hospital or to show that they even had a family, they were penalized for that in a corporate setting. So I think that COVID has come, and our work from home policies at organizations have come to level a bit the field and humanize the professional, that men have a role to play in their family lives the same way that women have a role to play in the family lives. And acknowledging this critical function of a human being does not take away our leadership skills, does not take away our commitment to growing organizational interests. And these should be encouraged, and people must be given room to operate as leaders at home, in the office, and in our societies. At the Ghana Stock Exchange, we are very deliberate about promoting inclusivity and diversity. Our first chair of the Ghana Stock Exchange 31 years ago was a woman, Mrs. Gloria Nikwe. We have recently appointed another woman as our board chair. At the executive level, half of the leaders at the Ghana Stock Exchange are women, and the other half are men. So at the Ghana Stock Exchange, we live and promote this diversity. The other key thing we've done is partner with the private sector. We're working with the Boardroom Africa, who have done extensive work around how to promote diversity at the corporate level, especially for companies that are listed on stock markets, to promote diversity, to bring more inclusion, to have more women at the table in decision making. So we've been working with the Boardroom Africa to promote this amongst our issuers, and we're beginning to see a lot of traction from there. Ghana in Africa is one of the leading countries that have more women on our board than other African countries. In fact, there are about 33% of the people on boards in Ghana of public companies as women, compared to about 25% globally. So, but we're not satisfied with this. For us, there has to be equal representation, and that is what we are working at. This includes actively engaging with CEOs, nomination committees, and the board chairs of various issuers or various listed companies to make sure that as they are out there nominating people to serve on boards, they are actively including many, many women that are more than adequate to serve and act on these boards. The other thing we're doing is working with young investor networks that are doing a lot of financial literacy programs, and what we're doing is targeting a lot of young women to be part of these financial literacy programs and encouraging them to come up and fashion their professions in such a way that they will continue to be relevant, both in their professional lives and in their social lives as well. We also are looking at mentorship programs, and not just mentorship programs where we encourage other young women to follow their passions and guide them how to do that, but we want to also be actual sponsors to these people. You know, it's not enough to have a mentor. You must have someone who is sponsoring you, someone who, when you're not in the room, mentions your name at the table for you to come up to be considered. So there's the he for she movement that we support, and many of these men are sponsors and are sponsoring young women to the table, but we encourage and more of this to be done, and this is a challenge that we've taken up for ourselves. For the young women out there, I say you are good enough. You're good enough to start making your own investment decisions, to do your own financial literacy. There's a lot of resources out there for you today to educate yourself, to understand that everything you do, you must consider the financial impacts of that. This is basic training for everyone, male and female, especially female. So we empower ourselves. We understand how to secure our future by taking smart money decisions, by taking smart investment decisions as well. The other thing is that we're good enough to step up to the plate. Many of us are shy. Many of us have been told that the ideal woman looks like a certain way or behaves a certain way. There's a famous Akan song, is it Sewakuto, a woman who doesn't speak up, who is desirable because she's in the background, etc. Your voice is important. You may speak it slowly, you may speak it loudly, you may speak it whatever way you choose, but be yourself. That voice of yours is authentic and it has a space in the 7 billion people in the world, and that is why you are unique. So don't take apologies, don't make apologies. You are good enough. Continue to empower yourself, continue to learn more, find a mentor, cultivate that relationship with a mentor, but importantly, cultivate that relationship from a mentor into a sponsor. A sponsor is someone who knows you, who understands your dreams, who speaks for you when you're not at the table. So cultivate that relationship so that at every point in time, there's someone who's there championing your cause. We welcome you at the Ghana Stock Exchange. Invest here. Grow businesses, come and list them on the stock exchange, put women on your boards, and to the men out there, continue to champion women's causes. The world will never work well if we ignore the voices of half of the population here. So for all the wonderful men who have sponsored, encouraged, pushed, rewarded, acknowledged, provided room for a woman to speak up. We appreciate your partnership and we encourage you to do more. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Abena Amoah from the Ghana Stock Exchange. I'm a speaker at the upcoming second Women in Finance and Investment Summit, and I look forward to seeing all of you there.